Hey, what's going on, everybody? I lost a low beam headlight either Friday night or Saturday morning on the driver's side, and I was out in the fog coming in last night, and I lost the low beam on the passenger side. I already had new LED headlights ordered whenever this low beam went out, but caught in the fog, man, it was bad last night. I couldn't hardly see to come in. So I thought about it and took a little duct tape and covered over the top half of the light and made it manageable to come in. But I had so much light shooting up into the sky I couldn't see 10 feet in front of my truck, and it was unsafe. But this got me home. Don't recommend it to anybody, but if you're ever in a pinch, might be something to try. It sure made a difference for me to make it in last night. But I'm going to install the new headlights. Been wanting to put LEDs on it for a while, and these military 24-volt lights are not something you can just get at a store. You got to order them from places like Voice Equipment or some of the other military surplus. All right. These lights are kind of neat how they have these different, over here, have these little pigtails on these military trucks, but I guess you could cut these wires and wire them into something else if you could find a 24-volt bulb, or you could convert it all over to 12 volt, but I kind of like the 24-volt system. And I don't know if you can see, I slide the rubber boot back and I plug I call them bullet connectors. I plug it in and then I slide the rubber weather boot over it. That way I make sure I get a good connection. Got them all plugged in, slide the little weather boots over them. One more, and grab my reading glasses again so I can see where the top of the bulb is. I believe that's it right there. And that's it. Now this, you have to clock it just right because you got two holes for up and down and left to right adjustment. And let's turn on the lights and see what the difference is. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it on the wall over there. Much better. Turn the camera around where everybody else can see. Lot cleaner light. You see the light over here on this side is just a big blur, and now this side is a real clean, focused beam. Okay, I got the headlights changed out now, and seems to be pretty bright. I'll take it for a test drive. I changed the other one out. I didn't want to bore everybody with watching me change that one. All right, I adjusted them up a little bit. I'm out behind my shop. That's the low beams. Pretty bright, good wide pattern. There's the high beams. Not too bad. And then I turn on my side light. And there's my overhead LED light. Okay, I decided to do a voiceover here. The audio on the lapel mic was getting worse by the second. I don't know if the battery was going dead or just the background noise of the six-wheel drive, but just went over a jump on my old motocross practice track and a berm just to see how the lights lit up as I went over a hill, and they did pretty good. Okay, I know this is so insignificant, but I made a high and low beam red light in here. That's just a LED tail light, 24 volt, but gives me a good little glow. I've got some red lights under the dash, but there's with my hand covering it. That gives me a good little glow. And then if I need more lighting to be able to see stuff in here, I can flip that on. That's a minor. Okay, it's about a week later. I'm getting some lights mounted underneath. I need a lot more light behind me, but at the same time, I don't want to blind the people that I'm pulling out whenever I'm, doing a kinetic energy pull or whatever, dragging them through some sand. And whenever I put bright lights on the tailgate, they're shining right in the driver's eyes. So mounted these down here, and pretty much they light up the area behind me, but they don't shine up where they're going to be. The back of the truck will block it where they're not shining in the driver's eyes. But I am drilling some holes now for the wires to zip tie up. I don't know how well everybody can see. A little trick I've learned, just being lazy and don't like fighting a drill, but use a ratchet strap and do the pushing on the drill with it. Here we go. Another click. And it's that simple. That's just a small hole for zip tying the wires up so they're not hanging down here. Need to do that again right here. These are the tail light wires and they kind of hang down. So I'm going to move all this back and drill another hole. Now that one you stay there. Let's see where I can hook this. Probably about right there ought to work. And I need that hole about right here. Move that over just a little bit. Bring my drill. Try to stay out of the way of the camera. Put that right about there. And just take the ratchet strap. It's kind of a little bit too far to let off. There we go. That's still not far enough. Okay. Center it up on your drill. And drill bit right where you want it. Give it a click. Right. And now I'll be able to zip tie those wires up to where they're not flopping. That's never good for your wires to be flopping. And then sling a bunch of mud and stuff up on the wires. They get heavier and flop, and it causes for a lot of issues. Go grab a couple zip ties. All right, got a couple zip ties, and now I'm gonna get these wires zip tied up. May actually drill another hole on this one and tie it up too, because it's right behind the tire to catch a lot of mud. All right, that's got that where it's not flopping now. That'll help prevent some future headaches. Lord knows I have enough headaches. I don't need any extras. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Get the wire zip tied up. Drill a couple of holes for the wiring to go across, and then I'll drop in the wiring and run it down the wiring harness for the tail lights and trailer plug. Just zip tied along it and get it up into the cab so I can put a switch on it. But one of the cool things, I've used 24 volt lights before, and with this being a 24 volt system, you would think it'd be okay, but when it's charging, it's probably up there 28 volts, 29 volts, and a lot of the LED lighting that says it's rated for 24 volts doesn't last but about a week. And I've had some high-end lighting that didn't last, and I've had some cheap lighting that didn't last. But I stopped in Tractor Supply, and I was looking at some of their lights, and I do have a 24 volt to 12 volt converter in the truck, but at some point you overload the converter, and I bought these at Tractor Supply just because I was in there. Opened the package up and reading the specifications. These little traveler lights are rated from 9 to 36 volts. So I'm gonna see how they'll last, and if they hold up, I'll let everybody know in the future. But so far, I done a test with them plugged into the 24 volt system, and they ran fine for a little while there. And then I decided I'd go ahead and mount them up. And like I said, I'll let y'all know how they work out after they've been on for a little while. But any of you guys that's got the military trucks, it might be a cheap option for you to add some lighting without having to put a big 24 to 12 volt converter in. All right, I'll move the camera a little closer. I'm going to drill another hole in the bottom of the bed here in the bracing. But this one here is just going to be a zip tie hole for this wire here. I don't like it flopping and pulling on it. These are LED lights, and they wasn't cheap, so I really rather it not get covered in mud and pull the wire out. So anyhow, I just thought I'd do a little bit closer view of me drilling the hole with my little ratchet strap set up. And it's that simple. This bit's pretty dull. I need to get it replaced. It's one of the lifetime warranty ones. Hopefully my tool guy doesn't watch this video. He'll know why I'm wearing out drill bits so fast. But anyhow, that's drilling the hole there. You see, do I got another zip tie in my pocket? Thought I had one, but oh, fell out on the ground here. Just a little bitty small hole. Zip tie that up so it's not flopping. I'm gonna pull my ratchet strap off. That simple. My joints are wore out from climbing radio towers and racing motocross and just all the things you do when you're young and don't think about when you're going to be hurting when you get older. But that's just a little technique that I learned, just I guess being lazy or whatever, and never had the opportunity to get a frame drill, one of the magnetic drills. Probably something I need to look at investing in, but that's my little cheat that I do to drill stuff, especially up over my head. Guess I'm just getting soft in my old age, but anyhow, thought I'd share that little trick with you. Okay, I finished installing the other light. Didn't want to bore everybody with that, but before I terminated my wires here, I've got them all run up to the front. I wanted to be able to show you the difference with them on and with them off in the dark. Let me go ahead and kill this light. Okay. See, I don't have any lights in my eyes. Lights right about there. I can be all the way back here down to here before I ever get any lights in my eyes. That's going to eliminate drivers being blinded by my lights that I need to be able to see them and they can't see. So that's the purpose of those being up under the bed, so the back of the truck shadows the lights out of the driver's eyes when I'm pulling them out, but they can still see good, and I don't have them putting their high beams on, blinding me. Let me turn them off. Let's flip them off. That's just one light over on my workbench, still on, and that's back on. Okay, I just changed this light a couple of days ago. Don't have it wired in yet. I had some eBay specials up there. I can show you on the other side. I haven't pulled that one off yet. There was a shot of the eBay special light. I had those wired up, 12 volts. They lasted about 6 months, and they didn't go bad from the voltage. They went bad from getting moisture in them and shorting them out. Put the Harbor Freight replacement on it, and literally the next day after I got that one mounted on there, I ran across the fact that the tractor supply lights were 9 to 36 volts. I mean, I don't know how long they're going to last, but I'm going to try those out. But these Harbor Freight ones are 12 to 24 volts. I'll show you in just a second on the paperwork. But I'm going to go ahead and wire them up 24 volt, see if they last. I've never tried their brand running them on the 24 volt system, but we'll see how they work. I mean, they're not expensive. If they burn up, they burn up. But if they handle the voltage and last, that'll be even better. Pause this and I'll get the paperwork to show you. Okay, here's what I was talking about. The one on the left is the Road Shock Harbor Freight. There's the voltage 12 to 24 volt. And there's the Traveler, and it says it's 9 to 36 volt. That's one from Tractor Supply. Well, I don't know if one will work any better than the other, but I'm going to wire them both up 24 volt. Hopefully the Harbor Freight brand will last, being on 24 volt system. And we'll see how the Tractor Supply Travelers brand works. They're probably made in the same warehouse with the same components, but it's worth a shot. I prefer everything to be 24 volt on the truck, just because everything is 12 volt. Matter of fact, I've got the box because I'm gonna put one in my brother's truck. Get this. See, I have one of those, which is a 70 amp, 12 to or 24 to 12 volt converter. So I do have 12 volts on the truck, but I would rather everything run on 24 volts for the simple fact that the higher the voltage, the less the amperage. So if you double the voltage, you cut the amperage in half. And the higher the amperage, the heavier the wire's got to be to supply stuff, the more draw it takes. I've got a solid state 24 volt alternator on there. I can't remember if it's 150 or 175 amps on 24 volts, but that puts out the same. Let's say it's a 150 amp. That puts out the same as a 300 amp 12 volt alternator. So, like I said, I just want to keep as much stuff 24 volt as possible. Of course, you got cell phone chargers and things that, plugs in the auxiliary plugs that they've got to be 12 volt. But what I can run 24 volts, I prefer to run 24 volts for that reason, just because the amperage draw. But anyhow, thanks for watching. Hope I didn't bore everybody to death, and until next time.